I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's cold as shit. We had the winter blast come through, right? Like, at least if you're in North America, you know, pretty much 70%, 80% just got froze over the holiday and everything. Pretty crazy stuff. Very, very cold. And I thought it would be appropriate to talk about cold weather and how things as DJs should consider, specifically what to do with our equipment. I know a lot of DJs that keep their equipment in their van, in their box truck, in their trailer year round. Or maybe you keep it in a cold garage or wherever you happen to store your equipment. I know a lot of DJs that, you know, kind of like keep it out there in the elements. And I always thought personally that like you don't want to do that because like, I don't know if it's, you know, you got a speaker and it's out in like 0-degree weather, like especially if you're like Northeast or like Midwest, but like North, like, you know, where it gets, you know, fucked up cold around here. Like I always thought that like it was bad for the speakers or bad for like whatever equipment, and you should always keep it climate controlled. And I would always try and like make it a point once like the weather changed to like find somewhere to store my stuff where it's like climate controlled, and I eventually got a climate controlled storage unit, yada yada. But I don't know for a fact. And I figured it would be fun today. We can call an expert and ask him and see what he has to say about all this. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of Ben Stowe from NLFX Pro. Sorry, I had to practice that. But we're going to get him on the phone here, and we're going to ask him his opinion, basically on, you know, storing equipment in the cold and everything, and what you should, you know, maybe everything's Gucci, maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe you could just leave that shit in year round. You're good. And there's no risk. Maybe there's certain things you want to keep in a climate controlled environment. I don't know. Let's phone in our expert here. So I'm going to call him now. Hopefully this works. Bam.
Hello.
Hi, is this Ben Stowe?
It is he.
Hello, Ben Stowe. You are live on YouTube. Can you hear me okay, bro?
Very good. Yeah, it was a pretty awesome delay there. I wasn't sure if that was an intentional effect or the AEC lack of AEC echo cancellation or something. So
yeah, no. That was a manual, homemade, delay. Echo.
It was really good. It was very artistic, like very DJ-like.
Thank you. I've been working on it my whole life, Ben. So thanks for coming on the show, man. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I wanted to bring you on because this is something I actually want to know about too. I don't know the official answer, and I was hoping you can give it to us. Like, it's cold as hell, right? It's been cold. We had the winter blast and everything, and like, you know, we're looking. The Farmer's Almanac is saying it's going to be cold as shit this year. Regardless, what do we do with equipment? Is there some equipment that's okay no matter what temperature it's in, or like should we be bringing any equipment in like to like climate controlled environments? Like, does that affect equipment in any way, and like what equipment specifically you would say?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a multi-part answer. And, it is the holiday season. It's the season of sharing. So we who live in the Arctic Circle are happy to share our weather with you guys. So it's really, I mean, everywhere is cold right now in the United States. Very timely time for this topic. So I guess the simplest thing would be if you have the option to store your equipment inside in a climate-controlled environment, always you should, if you have that option. And I know for a lot of people that's not an option. So then that leads us to, well, what should we do about it? And what's critical, like you said. First thing I would say, anything, computer, I would never leave outside any longer than you have to. I would definitely bring those things inside. And other things with batteries, cold is hard on batteries for sure.
So up lights.
Yeah, I would say if you have that option to bring that stuff in, keep them at room temperature. The batteries produce electricity by basically by a chemical reaction that's impacted by temperature. So, and then also, things that move, and a really good example there would be loudspeakers. The woofer, of a loudspeaker is moving, and again, I know it's not practical to bring in loudspeakers, and certainly when we're touring, they sit outside in semi-trailers for sometimes a day or two, so they get plenty cold. So it's not even a reality in the best of scenarios sometimes. So then I think what you have to do is just give that equipment time to acclimate. Think about things that have, mass, like those large magnets on loudspeakers or power supplies inside, amplifiers and things. They're going to take the longest to warm up. And if you take a really cold, dry loudspeaker, for example, sub-zero, and you bring it into a really warm, moist bar environment or something, and right away that's going to start to attract some condensation. So try to give things time to acclimate, give them time to warm up in sort of a controlled fashion, and don't try to hit them too hard right away. It's just like anything. I think your car doesn't start real good when it's cold, right? So don't take that loudspeaker in when it's cold and try to hit it real hard right away.
Yeah, let it get to the right temperature and then slowly like kind of ease it in so you don't end up at less risk of blowing out the whole woofer or something, right? The whole thing cracking because of condensation. Yeah,
there's two reasons loudspeakers fail predominantly. Help I can't move and help I'm on fire. So, this kind of falls under the help I can't move category.
Yeah.
I stole that from a friend of mine, but he said it so eloquently. Anyway, yeah, things like the glues and resins and things are stiff. The cone material is real stiff and doesn't want to move readily. And also things change size when they heat up and cool down. They expand and they contract. So just letting everything get to that operating temperature, I think, is going to be key. Decks with moving platters, really any of those kinds of things. Just give your gear some time to get used to the new temperature it's going to operate in.
True. So turntables, everything. So yeah. So in general, you can get away with keeping it in the cold for the most part, but it's still a slight risk, right? And then we'll just let it get acclimated before you start really using it heavy overall.
Yeah, most of this stuff is designed for kind of a wide operating range. Certainly it sits in sea containers. Now it never gets sub-zero usually in the sea container, but but it sits in shipping trucks and rail cars, as part of when it's in the distribution channel. So there isn't really a case where if it gets cold, it's never going to function again. But we've learned some really interesting things about doing events where I live. There's an event called Hockey Day Minnesota, which, what do you do when it's sub-zero? Well, you have hockey games outside, of course. Why not,
Yeah. Ice fishing. You guys are nuts.
Man, you need to look at a modern ice house. They're like RVs with holes in the floor. It's not really about the fish for me. But anyway, it's just getting out and having a little recreation. So this Hockey Day Minnesota thing, one year we did it got to like minus 30 Fahrenheit, actual temperature, not wind chill, actual air temperature.
Oh, fuck that. Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And we're contacting manufacturers, with the video walls and things, and we're saying, hey, is this going to work at 30 below? And I think one manufacturer said, below what? Like they didn't even know it could get that cold.
Yeah.
So what we did there, where this equipment had no opportunity to come inside and was going to operate for a week straight, is we basically left it running, nonstop. Once this thing is running, we're going to leave it running,
for like a couple days. Like you didn't turn it off at all. You just left it outside in the elements running.
Yeah, for 5 days, because it really wasn't. Yeah, we really couldn't. You couldn't tear it down and bring it in. It's just so labor intensive to tear down an entire video wall or something. Or we had loudspeakers that were mounted on light poles. And think about that too. You've got football games being played in this, and there's loudspeakers in those football stadiums. So same sort of thing. That loudspeaker never really has a chance to acclimate because it lives outside. So here I would say probably just sort of ease into it a little bit. Get that cone moving a little bit before you really go crazy on it.
Gotcha. Don't start with motto, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't do your typical set, Nick, Yeah,
that's it. Just ease into it. Start with some smooth jazz, but not the bass heavy stuff. I don't know. I totally get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, it's going to create the most movement, right? The long, big wavelengths, long wavelengths from low frequency are going to create the most movement. So, here again, think about things that are cold and don't want to move, and also think about like condensation, trying to keep, water away from our electronics as best we can. But the key thing, like I said, is just, give it a little time to adjust and bring in what you can. By the way, Hockey Day Minnesota, one thing we learned, we had a laptop rinkside. We were just going to play music between the whistles, stoppages in the game. It was so cold the laptop would not function. This was in the days of spinning hard drives, and the hard drive could not move at 30 below. So we had to bring the laptop inside.
That's another thing. Yeah, spinning hard drives is a whole nother ball game. Like now with like the solid states, it's so much better. Those things, they weren't shock-proof either, Someone bumping your stuff and then the whole program used to freeze. I used to hate that.
Yeah, better read write speeds on a solid state too. So we haven't tried it again, with a solid state, but I think, a lot of things don't work at that temperature all that well either.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
you're right.
I personally don't work at that temperature ever. So
I know our friends on YouTube won't get to see it, but I'll text you a picture of the outfit I was wearing. It was pretty, I looked like I was exploring the South Pole, and I practically felt like it.
The Christmas Story kid, he's all like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And I had the same dilemma when I had to pee, just like him. I'm like, oh, I gotta pee. It's like
it's a 20-minute experience. Yeah. That's funny. Well, appreciate it, Ben. That's good info right there. Good info. Speaking from expertise. Before I let you go, just one quick question to put you on the spot. By the way, we didn't plan any of this, people. So just to put you on the spot, what's your favorite piece of equipment that came out this year in 2022? Since we're ending the year, what's your favorite piece? What's the piece of equipment you're most excited about, you would say?
That's like trying to pick a favorite child, but I mean, actually, I do have a favorite child. There's one of my kids I just don't like at all. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't care. There's always favorites. There's no way.
That's right. Yeah, it's totally kidding. This is probably not going to resonate super great with the DJ audience, but it's actually, and I don't know if it came out this year. Maybe it came out last year. I don't know. It's been kind of a weird, COVID has sort of suspended reality in time. But
yeah.
The Maverick Force S moving spot. I just got some of those, and I'm really impressed with that. Bang for the buck. But there's a lot of cool stuff that's come out this year, and I mean, I think you see a lot of things migrating into different areas with DJs too. The way we're going to these kind of standalone controllers and things. So I don't know. Stems, that's a big thing. Everybody's talking about stems, right? Yay, but.
No, and I'll check out that spot.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it's got tremendous output, CMY color mixing. It's been really a long time since I got this excited about a light. I'll say that.
No kidding. I'll have to take a gander then. Well, thank you, Ben.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Appreciate it, man. Anything you want to plug before you go, or?
Just to wish you a happy New Year's, my friend.
Appreciate it, man. Happy New Year to you too. I thanks for coming on short notice too. I just texted you yesterday. I kind of had this idea sprung upon me, so I figured I'd bring you on real quick. Maybe we'll have you on soon. Do a longer form, interview one of these days, and I'll pick your brain. You learn me something.
That'd be a privilege, my friend. And let's talk about something warm.
Yes, sounds good, man. Thanks, Ben.
All right, buddy. You got it.
All right, brother.
Yeah, take care.